My name's Ulrik Strandvik, and I'm a tax specialist. There has been a lot of talk on social media and the internet on the change to the so-called expat tax. Before 1 March 2020, all foreign employment income earned by a South African tax resident while working abroad was completely exempt from tax in South Africa, provided the person was outside of the country for 183 days and 60 of those days were consecutive. The amendment from 1 March 2020 limits the exemption to 1,250,000 Rand. This means that any amount earned over that amount will be taxed in South Africa. The purpose of this session is to demystify the issues, alleviate your fears, and give you tools to do the right thing. I'll do this by engaging on 5 things you need to know about the expat tax. Number 1, your situation is unique. So your situation in terms of earning foreign income or your situation of living abroad is unique to anyone else's. So you've got to take your circumstances into account. Yes, there are general principles that we can apply, so please seek the right advice, speak to a tax consultant to understand your circumstances. Number 2, tax immigration is not financial immigration. The inquiry as to whether you are a tax resident or a tax resident of another country is totally different to the inquiry whether you are a resident from a financial citizenship point of view. The one is dealt with by SARS, the South African Revenue Service, and deals with your income, and the other is to do with your capital and your assets. Do you call South Africa your home? Then you are a tax resident of South Africa and you are taxed here in South Africa. If you live abroad and your center of vital importance has shifted from South Africa to another country, then you are a resident of that other country. From a financial immigration point of view, you may not need to financially immigrate even though you live abroad. You still have a South African passport, a South African ID, and you have assets here. You don't necessarily have to financially immigrate. It may be important, and the advice is that you may need to financially immigrate. Point 3, should I stay or should I go? So many people have asked me, am I a non-resident? Must I financially immigrate? So the question is, should you stay as South African tax resident, or should you actually tax immigrate, or should you financially immigrate? You have to determine that for yourself. Where do you call home? If you call home another country, then that home is your tax home. When you say, South Africa is no longer my home, I'm now a tax resident of another country, there are certain consequences. The major consequence is that you are deemed to have disposed of all your capital assets at the market value on the day that you become a non-resident. That excludes your immovable property, your home, your structured property that you own in South Africa. It does impact your shares portfolios, your unit trusts. So you must be careful when you say, I am now a non-resident, because there are implications. And you may have to go to SARS and say, I am liable for capital gains tax. Number 4, be aware of double tax. So don't panic. I'm saying that, but don't panic, because South Africa has a double tax treaty with many, many countries. In the double tax treaties, there are provisions that you will not pay double tax. If you do have to pay tax in both countries, South Africa has got legislation to help you. And that legislation says that if you pay tax in another country, that tax that you've paid in that country can be set off as a credit in this country. So don't panic, be aware of double tax, but understand the country that you're in and how that country relates to South Africa from a tax point of view. Number 5, don't mess with SARS. Don't try and fudge the facts. Say it as it is. In today's world, there's a lot of communication between the various revenue services across the world and the banks as well. And we call this a common reporting standard, and there's a duty to disclose certain information about taxpayers in other countries. So it's very important to make sure that you understand and that you've come clean with SARS, and that you do the necessary disclosure programs. If you do the disclosure program, SARS will be more lenient on you in terms of the penalties that are due. I hope you found this session useful, and I just want to encourage you to look at your own unique circumstances and urge you not to fear, not to panic, but seek the right advice and then do the next right thing. Please feel free to contact our offices or visit our website or click on the link below for some helpful resources on the topic. Thank you.